Zimbabwe's new president Emmerson Mnangagwa has pledged to re-engage the country with the world, following the dramatic departure of Robert Mugabe. In his inauguration speech, Mr. Mnangagwa sought to reassure foreign investors to attract badly needed funds to revive Zimbabwe's failing economy. And he also praised Mr. Mugabe, calling him Zimbabwe's founding father. Mr. Mnangagwa's dismissal as vice president earlier this month led the ruling party and the army to intervene. Mr. Mugabe, who had wanted Grace Mugabe, the then First Lady, to take up the presidency, was forced to announce his resignation on Tuesday, ending 37 years of authoritarian rule. Addressing Harare's packed 60,000 capacity National Sports Stadium, the new leader said Zimbabwe was now ready and willing for a steady re-engagement with all the nations of the world. He said key choices will have to be made to attract foreign direct investment to tackle high levels of unemployment while transforming our economy. And pledging a new destiny for Zimbabwe, he added, "Let us humbly appeal to all of us that we let bygones be bygones." Mr. Mnangagwa, who had fled the country earlier this month only to return to a hero's welcome on Wednesday, also said that Mr. Mnangagwa has for decades been part of Zimbabwe's ruling elite. Despite his pledges, he is still associated by many with some of the worst atrocities committed under the ruling ZANU-PF party since the country gained independence in 1980. He was the country's spymaster during the 1980s civil conflict, in which thousands of civilians were killed. His ruthlessness won him the nickname the Crocodile. But Mr. Mnangagwa has denied any role in the massacres, blaming the army. Analysis by BBC Online Africa editor Joseph Winter. Emmerson Mnangagwa's speech of reconciliation will be widely welcomed in Zimbabwe, even if his powers of oratory fell well short of those of his predecessor. He reached out to people across the ethnic, racial, and political divides, following years of deep polarization under Robert Mugabe. However, those Zimbabweans who can recall the days before Mr. Mugabe, the minority, will know that when he took power in 1980, he made similar pledges, and was widely praised for it, both at home and around the world. What Zimbabweans really want is for Mr. Mnangagwa to breathe new life into their failed economy. Here, he also made all the right noises, recognizing the severity of the problem. He even promised compensation to the white farmers whose eviction caused the economy to spiral into free fall. However, it is not clear where he would get the money from, and he did insist that land reform itself was non-negotiable. He also accepted that he would not be judged on his speeches, but on his actions. All Zimbabweans will agree with that. No, and the official reason given was that at 93, the former president needed to rest. But the fact he did not attend is a reminder that this is no ordinary transition, the BBC's Andrew Harding reports, and that, despite Mr. Mugabe's official resignation, he was forced out by the military. On Thursday, several reports suggested Mr. Mugabe had been granted immunity from prosecution.